Hello. Hey, it's Shamaree. I am a relationship and intimacy coach, and I empower women to get the confidence and pleasure that they deserve so that they no longer settle for lack of satisfaction, especially within the context of relationships. And I do these weekly lives where I come and I'll answer questions that you guys submit to me throughout the week, and I do post a little bit in my story where you can submit your questions. I do that at least 3 or 4 times a week. I try to do it every day, but at least 3 to 4 times throughout the week. If you are watching my stories, you should see where you can submit the questions to me, and in order to get them answered here. And I have a few questions, as always, that I want to get through. If you see the title, then you know what's coming up. So let's jump right in. I'm trying to keep this a little bit quicker today just because I'm in the middle of baking and washing laundry and all that sort of thing. So I do want to keep it quick, but I am going to answer the typical 4 questions because that's how many I do typically as of right now. So the first question is how to overcome performance anxiety in the bedroom. When it comes to performance anxiety and managing that, it's very similar to managing just any other type of anxiety, right? So what is anxiety? Anxiety is a response that your body goes through. So your body kind of kicks into stress response. And when I explain this to clients, typically I kind of give it to them this way. When you are experiencing anxiety and your body goes into that stress response, your body cannot tell the difference between you being in imminent danger, as in fearing for your life. So maybe you're about to be attacked by a bear. It doesn't know the difference between that and you just being overwhelmed with work, and you just have a lot of tasks to complete at work. You become stressed. So the stress response is the same regardless of what the stressor is, just as far as what your body experiences and how it's processed. And so when your body goes into that stress response, it's very, very hard to think clearly. It's very hard to act rationally. It's very hard to just do a lot of the things that we would typically do. So we're not fully present a lot of the time, and so we're not able to enjoy or participate equally within the sexual experience if we're in that stress response, right? And sometimes our body doesn't react either, so just being aroused enough in order for the action to go down, right? So what I always encourage when it comes to that, there's other things too, which I'll get to, but first and foremost, we want to get our body to a place where we are able to relax, so that we can kind of return back to our baseline. So when we manage our anxiety, that's when you hear a lot about the deep breathing, the meditations, the grounding techniques and all of that. And you hear it because it works. So yes, it may sound very cheesy, very cliche, but it works. Like, it calms your body down. It brings your body back down to baseline. It brings you back to where you're able to think a little bit more clearly. Your body's able to react in the ways that it typically would, because you're no longer in that imminent danger, right? So the same things that you do when you manage anxiety outside of the bedroom is the same thing that you want to try when you're in the bedroom. So the deep breathing is definitely helpful because that's something that you can do anywhere, anytime, right? You don't need to take time away to do deep breathing. We breathe all the time, breathing right now, right? So you can do that wherever. So I always encourage practicing with deep breathing and trying different techniques. Everyone responds differently to different things. So definitely trying that out, seeing how it feels. Grounding techniques and really just kind of realizing your body. So like muscle progression, like the relaxation of the body, which is very helpful if you're trying to be intimate, right? Physically anyway. It's very important to kind of get your body to relax and take what's going on in the moment, to be present in that moment. And then also, if you guys have heard about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise where you are focusing on mindfulness. So mindfulness calls our attention to the moment. And as we're calling our attention to the moment, all the things that we're worried about, because typically when we're anxious, we're worried about things that may or may not happen, things that are not currently going on, worries that about perception and all of these other things that take us out of that moment. So we want to call our attention to the moment. What is going on right now? What do I experience right now? And so mindfulness is very, very helpful, and you can make it really sexy with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise, because you can use your body, your partner's body, and the environment in order to explore a little bit further as you call out the different positions, the different sensations that are going on. That can be really intimate. It can be really sexy if you make it that way. So it is a form of meditation in a way, but I know a lot of people have the perception of meditation of being sitting still in silence, and it doesn't have to be that. You can make it what works for you. So when it comes to performance anxiety, you want to manage your anxiety just as you would anywhere else. The bedroom doesn't have to be a special exception as far as how you manage your anxiety. It's perfectly okay for you to manage it in similar ways that you would outside of the bedroom. But you can always, like I said, try to make it a little bit sexy, a little bit sensual, something that you guys can do together. Bring your partner into the experience. Sometimes our partners, they can already tell if we're in our heads about something anyway, and that's really helpful if they're able to notice that, and you can kind of bring them into your experience, like, this is what I'm feeling right now and I just need a moment, so taking things slow, deep breathing, relax your body, relax yourself, whatever that looks like for you, and making sure that you're focusing on the moment, and then outside of that, just knowing and understanding what the experience is for you. So you don't have to perform like someone else or like you see on porn or TV or whatever it is. A lot of times we get anxious and we worry because we have an expectation already in our minds rather than just accepting the experience for what it is. You want to connect with your partner, and the more that you do it, the better that you'll get at it, the more you'll learn what you like, what they like. So kind of trying to strip yourself of some of those expectations, especially if they're coming from outside of yourself, and relaxing yourself. Those are kind of the two ways that I would approach this. And obviously, if you reach out to me, if you were to work with me or anything like that, we would get more specific based on your specific circumstance. But generally, that's kind of the general advice I would give to you to start. And then the second question we have is, how do you escape the friend zone? And so the short answer is you don't, and I don't advise you to try to do so, but I'll give you a little bit more context to this. So yes, I know we hear relationships are best when you have a friendship and it's your best friend, and it's based in that. You want your partner to be your friend as well. However, I would not go into a situation where someone's telling you that they only see you as a friend, and you're sitting and you're waiting, trying to convince them or get them to see that you should be more than that. So if they're telling you that they want to be a friend, then accept that as that it is. If you cannot be their friend, if that's not comfortable for you, or if you want something more than that, then it's perfectly within your right to decide that you don't want that friendship. Like, if you can't be more than my friend, then I cannot be your friend. Like, it's not comfortable for me. It's not okay for me because I know that I want more. Just like I say it's not fair on their end either, that you're constantly trying to prove yourself or to show them that you should be something more. So if someone purposely places you in that friend zone, do not try to get out. Either end the friendship if you can't just be friends, or allow yourself the time in order to get into the headspace where you are able to just be their friend. But I don't think it's fair for either you or that person to try to do anything more than that. If you're in the friend zone, that's what it is. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, but if that's what their boundaries are, then you want to respect their boundaries. And so, that's what I have to say about that. Don't do it. But now that we have gotten through the first two questions, like I said, I'm trying to make it very quick today. I want to reintroduce myself. I'm Shamaree. I'm a relationship and intimacy coach. And I do these weekly question and answers on live, where I answer questions that people submit to me throughout the week. If you want your questions answered, then you definitely want to submit those questions. That's the only way you're going to get the free. other than joining my Facebook group, which is for women only. But I did want to kind of re-announce, I mentioned this last week, that I will be posting more content on my YouTube. So I have YouTube currently. Right now I'm only posting these live videos that I have been doing, just to give like another place that you guys can find it. So when I'm getting the questions, I did want to say this too. I've been getting a lot of repeat questions, or like the same types of questions about the same types of situations. And so if that is you, or if you're not sure, definitely go back and look at the other lives, because I have answered a lot of the questions that I get already. If you don't want to scroll through Instagram, you can just go to the YouTube, Shamaree, LAB, and the lives are all posted there, and you can see exactly what I talked about previously. There I'm also going to be posting original content that you will not find on Instagram, where I'll be getting a little bit more in depth about certain topics that I don't want to get flagged for. So if you're looking for that sort of content, then you definitely want to make sure that you're subscribed and that you keep up to date with that. I'm going to start posting those videos starting next month. As we get a little bit closer, I'll release specific dates. I'm thinking about doing the drops kind of on Friday, for Freaky Friday, Frisky Friday. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Obviously, if that changes in any way, I'll let you guys know. But definitely go subscribe and check out the videos that are currently there. I also did a presentation last week about increasing libido, and anything that I will be featured in moving forward. If I have permission to post it, I will be posting it there as well. So I do have a few things in the works, so you definitely want to keep an eye out for that. So I'll be posting them there. But moving along to the next two questions. So I guess these are a little bit more interesting, I guess. So the first one is kind of a two-part question. So does body count matter? And then do you tell your partner about your past sexual experiences or your past sex life? So when it comes to body count, again, my personal opinion is that's your business. Whatever works for you. Everyone's different. So some people, just based on their values and their experiences, they want to keep it as low as possible. If that's coming strictly from you and your beliefs, then more power to you. I'm all about doing what's true to you. If you're on the other side of things and you don't feel like that is a negative thing at all, and you want to share experiences, you want to experience pleasure, and that's how you choose to do so, is by having as many experiences with different types of people, more power to you for that as well. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that. And if you're on the in-between, great, right? So I think that you should do whatever it is that is true to you, and make sure that it's true to you and not what people have told you is the right thing, or what is respectable, or what is okay versus what's not okay. Really sit with yourself and think about what's okay for you and stay true to that. The only time I think that it matters is if you're going against what you believe. Right? And so as far as, do you tell your partner about your past experiences? Again, it's your business. I think that you should tell your partner to the extent that it matters to them. So if your past experiences have shaped you in a way where maybe you have some trauma responses to certain actions or activities, and that, like for me, with my assault and just how I respond to certain things, it may be a little bit different than it would be had I never been assaulted, right? So that is something that I think is important to share, right? If you have a past history or a current history with any STIs or things that your partner could potentially catch by being with you, obviously something very important to share. Like, they should know that. If you're past experiences have determined, like maybe you have certain fetishes or kinks that you're interested in, and your past experiences have introduced you to that, sharing what those things are and why it's something that's important to you. I think that's very important to share. And obviously, also just depending on your relationship that you have with this individual, how open you want to be with this individual. If you want to share numbers, then you can share numbers. I personally, whether I had sex with one person or 100 people or whatever the case may be, I feel very comfortable in my decisions, whether I was making them while I was in a good place or a bad place. I have come to the point where I feel very comfortable with that, so I don't feel ashamed by sharing a number with my partner. I have shared a number with my partner, but I'm not saying that that is something you need to do. Not at all. To the extent that it impacts them, that's the extent that you need to be sharing. So definitely let them know if there are any particular circumstances that you're uncomfortable with based on your past experiences, any trauma that you have related to physical intimacy and sexual encounters. You want to let them know any history with STIs or things that they may catch, or even just other medical sort of things, right? You want to let them know so that people are going into a situation making a fully understood consensual decision, right? So you don't want to have someone decide that they want to be with you or to engage with you not knowing some of those things, right? I don't think a number really matters as long as you're being true to yourself. But again, that's my opinion. Everyone has their own. Be true to yourself. That's what I say about that. And if somebody's asking that early on, then for me, I would did that very, very, very quickly, very early, just because it tends to come from a judgmental place. People who don't care about body count don't ask about it. So if they're asking you, it's probably because they have a judgment based upon it. So keep that in mind. If you're okay with it, again, like I said, it's up to you. But for me, even if I only had one partner, I only did missionary my entire life, and I'm very this way, very straightforward, very, I don't want to say pure because I don't believe that, but just if I was that way and I had a partner say that they valued that about me, and that's one of the key factors in why they respected me, I wouldn't want to be with that person, because you shouldn't respect or lack respect for me based on that. But that's me. The next one, the last question, is how to enjoy giving oral or giving head. How to enjoy it. And so with this, I'm not going to give you tips or any specific actions that you can do. If I do something like that, it would be on YouTube. It's not going to be here. But I do want to say, when it comes to that, just kind of the approach, the way that you think about it, the way that you see it, is very important. So when it comes to how we think about things, how we behave, all of that comes from how we view things, right? And so if we view it as a chore or something that we have to do, or something that it's a job, basically, then it doesn't make it sound like it's an enjoyable thing. So if we're able to slow down, back it up, it's not something that I have to do, it's something that I get to do. I get to enjoy this experience with my partner. That makes it a little bit more inviting. It makes it sound like it's something more fun to do, like it's not a job, it's something that I get to do. And then also, if you're kind of thinking about what you're doing for this other person, I love a reaction. I love, I'm a words of affirmation girl. So any encouragement that I get, and that includes grunts or affirmation that I am powerful, I am special, I'm doing something great for you, I feel excited about that. So that makes me more excited about the whole experience, right? So you want to go into it with that mind frame, not thinking about, oh my God, I have to do this. And you don't want to, even if you think it, don't show that. You want to be enthusiastic, just the same way that you would want them to be in the experience when they're giving to you. I don't want you down there if you're not excited, if you're not enthusiastic about it, because then there's a bit of a disconnect when it comes to that intimacy. If you're able to think about it as a thing that you get to do for your partner, they're going to feel good. You're going to feel powerful in what you're doing for them. You're going to enjoy the reaction that you're getting. It just adds to the experience. It heightens it and makes it so that you're more excited. Everybody's more excited, and they can be more aroused just by that alone. I know a lot of people, they really enjoy like the audio of it. So like just act excited. So even if you're not excited initially, once you start to get that positive response, a lot of times you'll find that you get more excited about it. So I hear a lot of times women are like, I don't enjoy it. It's not fun for me. I don't get anything out of it. But once they do and they start to do it more and they get this great reaction, it makes them want to do that more, just because humans, we love praise. We love to be acknowledged. So even if that's the only thing that I get out of it, that's sufficient for us to have a pleasant experience. So I would say definitely those are ways that you're going to want to at least try to view it in a different way, at least try to enjoy it. And typically when you're excited or when you're sharing something very close and intimate with someone, they want to do the same for you. So the more that you're able to kind of put yourself forth, usually anyway, your partner or partners, they meet you there. So you always want to go on with the same energy you're trying to get. And so that's what I'm going to say about that. Like I said, if you want more specific details, there's definitely courses and classes that you can take, and very credible ones. And apparently everybody and their mama is on social media trying to show you what you should be doing. So, I mean, you could take that with a grain of salt. Some of it is helpful, some of it not. But there's definitely ways that you can learn more specific techniques. And I may or may not be doing a YouTube video on that sort of thing. If you guys reach out to me, comment below, all that sort of thing. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. Then that's something that I might explore. But those are the questions. And that was pretty quick. I did a good job. But let me kind of wrap it up, because if you are interested in the content, then I have a few other ways that you can get more information and more content from me. So first, I'm Shamaree. I am a relationship and intimacy coach, and I empower women especially to get the confidence and pleasure that they deserve so that they no longer settle for lack of satisfaction, especially within relationships. And I do have a few free things. So if you want to start with the free, I get it. I'm with you. So I have, if you struggle with confidence, I have a Come Confidently. That's what it's called. It's a webinar that introduces you to 3 practical strategies for increasing confidence. And all of this can be found if you go to the link in my bio on my Easy Tree, scroll down to freebies, you'll see all the free stuff. Come Confidently, like I said, is all about confidence. It's an hour-long webinar for the free, so you get a little bit more information on that. If you struggle with switching things up, keeping it spicy, you know, trying to keep that connection between you and your partner or partners, then I also have a physical intimacy types list. I always stumble on that. I gotta get that together. Physical intimacy types list where I give you ideas about different things that you can potentially try. There's also a table included with this list where you can keep track of the type of physical intimacy activity along with the people or person that you enjoy them with. It's something that you can share with partners or friends or whomever, to see if they have similar or maybe different ones. You can compare lists, and if there are things that are different, maybe you want to try some of the things that are on their list to see if you guys can incorporate something new. And then the last freebie that I have there is going to be the sex topics list, where you're going to have some highlights, different things that I think you should talk about with a partner. So I mentioned a few of them here when we talked about body count and if that even matters to tell your partner. Some of that is in this list, but there's a ton of other things that are on the list. So if you're not sure about what you should be saying or talking about when it comes to sex and partners, the list will help you guys in order to spark conversation, and to make sure that you're covering kind of all the different types of bases. So not just what's your favorite position, but all the other things as well, right? And then other than those free, like I said, if you join my Facebook group, that's another way to get free advice and coming to these lives every week free. I do have paid things as well. So I have a journal. If you are into journaling or you want to get into journaling, I did design a journal that is designed to help you to create the life that you want. So it's called Confidently Have the Pleasure You Deserve. So it specifically highlights certain areas so that you can identify the patterns. And hopefully once you identify those patterns, you can replicate them if they are desired patterns, right? If they're not desired patterns, then we can adjust and work on creating the desired ones that we want. So that is on Amazon. It's also linked in the Easy Tree. If you go to the link in my bio, it's under Shop Products, I believe. It's the only thing there currently. And then the last thing is the course, Better Sex Guide to Confidence, Satisfaction, and Orgasms Without Faking. So this course is a 6-month course. It's self-paced, 6 months, but you keep it forever. So anytime I update it, anytime I add anything to it, you're going to get all of that based on the price that you paid the one time. So you can pay upfront all at once, and you do get it for a little bit cheaper that way. However, there's also a payment plan where it is split into 3 payments. So if that's more reasonable for you, then I get it. You have the option for that as well. And the course, I think, is pretty helpful. I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it. So if you're interested in that, it helps you with kind of identifying things just within yourself. So whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single, situationship, recently broken up, whatever your circumstance, I think that the course is pretty helpful as far as getting to know yourself and what your desires are, increasing your confidence, bettering your communication and your boundaries, but then also preparing you if and when you want to engage in relations with other people. It'll better equip you for communicating that, being present in that, and creating a pleasurable experience for both of you or all of you if there's more than 2. So that's what I offer. So if you have questions, concerns, or anything like that, you can definitely reach out to me. I do my best to respond to everyone as long as you're not talking crazy. So if you genuinely have questions that you're concerned about, then definitely reach out. Look for my stories where you can submit your questions throughout the week so that I can answer them in this format. And if you are watching the replay, if you made it this far, thank you. And hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you have any feedback or anything that you want to add to the conversation, I'm interested to see that. So I'm going to go. Like I said, I was baking a cake. I have to finish doing that. I love baking. Just a little tidbit about me. So I'm going to get that together, finish doing the laundry and all of that sort of thing. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to try to do so. So bye.